Good evening and welcome to KMTV. I'm Josie Hannett, your top stories tonight. Man guilty after deadly crash. Yalding sets flooding plans. And teenage cooks crowned best Kent chefs. But first this evening, a driver from Kent's been found guilty of causing the deaths of 3 men when his coach smashed into a car on a motorway. This footage shows the moment Alan Peters crashed his double-decker filled with more than 60 passengers into the back of a stationary Audi on the M1 in Bedfordshire. The 78-year-old from Gravesend was transporting cheerleaders to a convention back in February last year. Peters had been driving coaches since 2000. He won't be sentenced until December. In a video from Bedfordshire Police, the victims' families have now spoken out about dangerous driving and the damage it can cause. Lynn Reeves' son Nathan died in the crash.
On the 14th of February 2015, I had that knock on the door that no parent should ever receive. Standing at the door were 2 policemen, and I'll never forget my reaction and everything when I opened the door and they asked to come in. I did say to them, will you come into me with bad news? And the answer was yes. And I probably knew deep in my heart then what I was going to be told.
A new wetland site which could see 15 million litres of floodwater stored under fields near Maidstone could prevent high-risk flooding areas being hit. The £15,000 project will not only help ease the pressure from hotspots, but will also be good for wildlife. I went to the site earlier today. Flooding around Maidstone and Tonbridge has been a big issue for some time, but Peter Hall, a farmer from Marden, could have the answer as he's making a 4-acre wetland site which could prevent flood threats in the worst affected areas.
The idea is that on the floodplain, which down at Marden we're slap bang in the middle of, the low-wheeled floodplain, that if along the river system you can divert water away from the river and onto some slightly lower lying farmland and flood that instead, it's a bit like a car park for water. It holds the water there while the main river system drains out, and then the water on the flooded land gently drains back into the river system, so you don't have everything arriving at the confluence at the same time.
In December 2013, Yalding was one of the worst hit places in the country, with more than 200 homes overflowing with water. The £15,000 project will not only help to ease the pressure from flooding hotspots, but will also create a sanctuary for wildlife. Within the next few weeks, this area could be turned into a wetland. Effectively like a sponge, the ground beneath my feet could be filled to the brim with 15 million litres of flood water. But what does that mean for the area? Well, places like Yalding and Marden over the years have been hit massively by floods, but hopefully this project will help ease the pressure.
I was down in 2013 on Christmas Day and Boxing Day, and it was heartbreaking seeing all of the water and the distress and the despair and the mess. So hopefully it will be schemes like this and other schemes too, because there isn't just a single fix solution. It's going to be a multitude of measures that I think will help people.
Work will hopefully be finished within the next couple of weeks, so the people of Tonbridge and the Weald can hope they won't be washed out again this Christmas. Josie Hannett in Marden for KMTV. More people are unemployed in Kent. The rest of the UK's actually seen a decrease, but more than 240 people are looking for work here. Here's Evangeline Dryden.
More than 18,000 people in Kent claimed unemployment benefits last month, which is an increase of 240 people. The figures from the Office of National Statistics means that job centres like this one behind me in Chatham may see an increase of people walking through its doors. However, the rest of the UK did not see such a rise in unemployment. The South East as a whole saw a fall of 3,000, and nationally there was a fall of 37,000. I spoke to Dr. Kate Bradley at the University of Kent to ask what these figures mean.
Why this is worrying is if we have a rise of 240 people in Kent who are claiming job seekers allowance, it suggests that our jobs market is cooling. And we might want to think about why that is in the run-up to Christmas, when we'd hope that firms would be taking on people in the lead up to Christmas and the January sales. One particular factor that we have in Kent is that whilst on the one hand we have places like Sevenoaks, which has got a very low unemployment rate and also a low job seekers allowance claimant rate, we also have areas where there have been long-term problems with unemployment, and including amongst young people.
This is Evangeline Dryden for KMTV.
And finally, the Great British Bake Off may have finished for another year, but that hasn't stopped young cooks in Kent from pursuing their dreams in the kitchen. This year's Kent Young Chef Awards were held in Maidstone and crowned 2 teenagers the best young talent in the county. Louisa Britton has the story.
These young aspiring cooks all want to prove they are one of the best chefs in the county. Under the watchful eye of the judges, the finalists have the task of cooking a dish from a recipe they created. They are assessed on technique, time management and above all, the look and taste of their dish.
Well, we've just entered the final moments of the competition and it is tense. These 8 finalists from schools across Kent were selected back in October, and today is the day they've all been waiting for, as 2 of them will be nominated Kent's Best Young Chef.
This is the 8th year the Young Kent Chef Award has taken place, and it seems the standard continues to impress the judges year on year.
It's always difficult to choose the winners when the bar is raised so high, and every year they push themselves. I mean, this is a great sort of starting block for them. They're understanding great produce. That's where it begins. Buy good produce. If it's a good ingredient, locally sourced, it should, in season, be packed full of great flavours. Well, you're giving yourself a good start. Create that well as a dish, execute it well, cook it to perfection, and you know what, you have an amazing plate of food. And their understanding of this local produce, Kentish produce, is second to none. At their age, it's phenomenal.
Once the contestants had finished cooking their dishes, the judges then carefully considered which one ticked all the boxes and selected the winners.
It feels good to win it for the first time trying. It's just different. It's quite panicky, but good at the same time.
And what's your plan for the future?
I want to be a chef.
Well, I've been trying for like 4 straight years to do this with an array of different dishes, and now I finally won it. It just feels so good. Like, for what I've been working so hard for, it's finally paid off, and it just made me feel so good. I want to be a chef. I want to open my own small gastro pub.
With these latest accolades, there's no doubt these 2 winners are one step closer to fulfilling their dreams. Louisa Britton for KMTV.
That's it from us this evening. We'll be back tomorrow with the latest stories from across your county. In the meantime, though, don't forget you can always keep up to date by listening to KMFM or logging on to kentonline.co.uk, and you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Have a great evening. Good night.